or High. The colonial city of Santo Domingo. The historic center of Santo Domingo, the capital of Dominican Republic, and the oldest constant European settlement in the territory of the New World. It is located on the coast of the Caribbean Sea and the west bank of the Osama River, which halves the city. The area of the area nowadays is about 5 square kilometers. Since 1990 it is included in the UNESCO World Cultural Heritage List. In this part of the city a large number of sites, including Alcázar de Colón, Fortress Osama, the Cathedral of Santo Domingo, École Puerta del Conde, the Museum of Royal Houses, the National Pantheon of Dominican Republic and others is located. The first European settlement on the place of modern Santo Domingo was created by Bartolomeo Columbus on East River Bank Osama in 1496, though officially declaration of his basis took place on August 4, 1498. The settlement then was called Santo Domingo de Guzman. After a hurricane of 1502 which claimed among other the life of the head of the settlement Francisco de Bobadilla, it was postponed for the West Bank under the leadership of Nicolas de Ovando. Ovando and his successor Diego Colon directed construction of the first constructions of the colonial city, many of which remain till today. Strengthenings of Santo Domingo were an important feature of a city landscape. The defensive wall stretched from the Osama River to Puerta del Conde, who represented an entrance to a city hinterland, and the western border of the city until the end of the 19th century. In 1509 Ferdinand II called the settlement the first city of India. Then in the city were constructed the Cathedral of Primada de America, Hospital San Nicolas de Bari, Customs and Street Francis's Monastery. Each of these buildings can be considered as the first is similar in the Western Hemisphere. In 1538 in the city Santo Domingo de Guzman's University, Santo Aquino, also the oldest in the New World, was opened. Spaniards used this settlement as a starting point of expansion of the possession in North and South America, during which they won other islands of the Caribbean region and a considerable part of the American continent. Santo Domingo was initially political and cultural center of the Spanish possession in the New World, but several decades later its value began to decrease when Spaniards everything more focused the attention on the continent after conquest of Mexico, Peru and other regions of present Latin America. Nevertheless, Ciudad Colonial remained the important historical place. In 1655 the city was besieged by British headed by officers William Penn and Robert Venabs. Its siege in 1655 was raised by the Spanish troops under command of the Captain General of Colony of Don Bernardino de Meneses and Bracamonte, the Column Penalva, in honor of whom Gate Puerta del Conde called Gate the Column. The structure of a fortification wall after this event was changed. Before invasion, in the place where Puerta del Conde nowadays settles down, there was a fort of Fort San Gennaro. It is considered that change which happened after a siege included continuation of a wall to a fort that actually created a bastion which was called by El Baluarte del Conde. At the end of 19th and the beginning of the 20th century the city began to extend out of limits of the old borders, but Ciudad Colonial remained the main center of all parties of city life till Trujillo era. Trujillo government was engaged in restoration of his main monuments, including Alcázar de Colón, and various works on preservation of heritage of the colonial city since 1965. Modern Ciudad Colonial, the main tourist attraction of Santo Domingo, though the main places of the state and commercial activity are located in other parts of the city now. The central public place of the area is the Park Columbus Circle, which borders on Cathedral of the 16th century and on which in her center the bronze statue of Christopher Columbus of the end of the 19th century is established. To the east from the Colon Park it is located paved a cobblestone of Colonial, being the oldest cobbled Novogo Sveta street dated 1502. The street borders on many of the most known sites of the area, including with a Fortress Osama, the place of many important events in the history of Dominican Republic, Casa de Bastidas in which there is a children's museum now, Embassy of France in which building is speak, Hernan Cortes's house, Casa de Ovanda which as it is considered, was the residence of the governor Nicolas de Ovanda once was located. And nowadays is luxury hotel, the National Pantheon of Dominican Republic and the Museum of Royal Houses. Located in the palace of the former governors and Audiencias building. Calle del Conde is exclusively pedestrian street on which several known commercial buildings of the beginning of the 20th century are located and which connects Columbus's Park with Puerto del Conde and the Park of Independence. One more traditional economic region is the part of the Avenida Duarte to the north from Zona Colonial in which there takes place planned reconstruction now with the purpose to make this area more attractive to tourists. At the end of a northern part of Cali Las Damas, the reconstructed and expanded area of Spain borders on Los Atarazanes, the former sea yard, now the museum, and a number of small shops and restaurants. This area was one of the first centers of trade in North and South America and is it still. El Pasar de Colon, which was once colonial palace of family of Columbus, starting with his son Diego, is now the museum where ancient furniture and jewelry are exposed. The building was built in 1510 and reconstructed in its current form in 1952. To the port on the Osama River adjacent to the colonial city, investments of $700 million in size with the purpose to turn Santo Domingo into the port with a possibility of calling of luxury cruise vessels were invested and assumed, including creation of private paper yachts. The project was finished by the Sans Souci Ports S. A company. Probably, this ambitious project will promote growth of appeal of Ciudad Colonial and rest of Santo Domingo to foreign tourists. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.